You know, as we gear up for the 4th of July holiday, people are already starting to unpack those fireworks. Maybe you heard in your neighborhood. That means it's a good time to review Michigan's laws about everyday fireworks. It gives us a refresher from Tom Sinus from the Sinus Dramus Law Firm. Good morning, Tom. Thanks for being here. We have had this talk before.
Yes, we have.
Fingers and toes. Let's try and keep them all this year.
Let's do that.
So what are the rules? I mean, obviously, this kind of opened up, in the past decade about how much we can and can't do fireworks. And boy, it has exploded, for lack of a better term.
It has, in a strange legal way. And I get this question a lot. Why is it that we can't have more rules about firework use or noise in particular on the 4th of July? Mm-hmm. And the answer is because, I can't remember when, but some time ago, the state passed a law prohibiting cities from regulating fireworks between June 29th and July 4th, or even July 5th, if July 5th is on a holiday, or excuse me, on a Saturday or Friday, between the hours of 11 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. Mm-hmm. Okay, so meaning from 11 a.m. on July 29th to 11:45 every day, all the way to July 4th or 5th, cities are not permitted to regulate fireworks.
It's unregulated.
It means they can't be any more restrictive.
Right, I got you.
So when people say, well, why can't the city of Grand Rapids or the city of Granville, why can't we have a fireworks law that says you got to stop by 10 o'clock? Why does it have to go so late? Well, the answer is because of that. So while cities can regulate fireworks, they can't encroach on that. So these time periods that I do think drive some people crazy because it feels like a week.
It does.
Right? It feels like a week from morning to night.
Right.
The truth is, it is that way because state law has sort of separated that and said, hands off.
And state law is trumping local city
always.
Ordinance law. So
Correct.
State law is going to say this is the way it is. So there's your answer. There's why. Now, what other rules are out there for safety? We know the times we can, but there are other rules in place.
There are. I mean, thankfully, state law does have some rules that may seem obvious. For example, it's a crime to ignite or discharge fireworks on someone else's property if you don't have their consent, or a church property or public property. If you're going to blow fireworks up, it needs to be on your own property unless it's clear that you can be on someone else's property.
Right.
You can't sell fireworks to a child. Again, seems kind of obvious. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to discharge fireworks if you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Again, just a terrible idea, but also a crime. And then coming back to this whole state and local thing, in Grand Rapids, we have an ordinance that says no one can recklessly endanger the life, health, safety, or well-being of any person by igniting a firework. And then we have this common law concept that you and I have talked about, the idea that we all generally have this obligation to act with what the law calls reasonable care, right? Just being safe, common sense safety. So that applies to fireworks as well, even though we can't limit the amount of noise that we hear from fireworks during these hours and days of the year.
Well, beyond the nuisance of the sound, obviously there's a health risk. So if an accident does happen, people are going to want to call. It's going to happen.
Sadly, yes.
Sadly, this is going to happen. So if it does happen to someone you know or to yourself, good place to call, sinusdramus.com, because you deal with these injury cases and you know whether somebody has a claim or not.
Yeah, and they're hard because of some of these rules, but also the issue of insurance coverage. And I'll just offer this suggestion. If you're going to have fireworks lit off at your house, you may want to make sure your homeowner's insurance covers that. Because if something does happen, heaven forbid, and you're the person who was hosting the fireworks party and something went wrong, you'd like to have the peace of mind of knowing you're covered. So check with your homeowner's insurance company or your insurance agent before the holiday comes.
Loss of property, damage, loss of life, injury, all of these things seem to happen around the fireworks. So if that does happen, or if you just need more information about what the rules are, you can always call with your questions, 616-301-3333, or visit sinusdramus.com for more. We'll be right back.